Hey guys, it's Tim, and this is Pro Wrestling Unlimited. Yes, it is on Wednesday. Was unable to watch Smackdown Live last night due to some other family commitments, but I was able to watch it later. If I would have gone live last night, it would have been like 1 a.m. on the East Coast, so I just decided, hey, let's just do a show in the morning. An hour show this morning, talking about Smackdown Live. I have a couple other news notes to get to as well. So let's see who's with us here in the chat. All right, so we've got Ozzy Alexander, Sam the Man TV, Lit Boy 18, Ruben, Lucid TV, Glowing Boss, Che Lu, Ozzy Alexander, Sam the Man TV. What is going on, guys? Now you guys are talking about how Jinder stole the championship last night. To be honest, SmackDown was a far better show than Monday Night Raw. Monday Night Raw was awful, well, not awful, that's not a real word, but it was awful. And SmackDown it wasn't like, oh, you have to go back and watch it, but it wasn't a bad show at all. Like, it was an easy watch, not just because it's only 2 hours, but in all retrospect, SmackDown blew Raw out of the water this week. There was some weird things that happened on SmackDown last night we'll get to here in a moment, but let's see what's going on WWE ECW. If you guys would like to call into the show today, the phone number is 559-475-8473. Before I do get on to the SmackDown notes, people have been asking about Josh Brettel. I think that's how you say it, Brettel, who won the last season of Tough Enough. I've actually been getting a lot of questions recently about him. And yesterday, WWE did, in fact, they released him from his contract. Brettel had been out of action, out of training for a while now, probably like 4 to 6 months or so. I think he had a concussion. It was the last I heard. But he has been left out of his let go. The only person now that still remains from that season, Mandy Rose. Now, was Daria on Tough Enough? Because if that's the case, then there's 2 still around. I think Daria was. So yes, Mandy Rose and Daria are still around from the last season of Tough Enough. Yeah, Daria was. Neither of them won. The winners were that Sarah girl and Josh. Sarah was released end of last year, I think it was, or earlier this year. And then Josh was released yesterday. ZZ was released late last year as he was signed as well, but they felt like he wasn't progressing at all. So with that, WWE has released them. Also, there were 2 other releases yesterday from NXT. Let me get the exact names for you. NXT superstar Chris Adkins was released, as well as backstage interviewer Andrea DeMarco. She was also actually granted her release. So that's what's going on with NXT. Let's see. WWE ECW says SmackDown was so much better than Raw. Oh, Ruben. Don't be mean. I'm not even going to say that one. Lit Boy 18 says SmackDown Live is the best show. Give me 1 second. Okay. All right, so let's start talking SmackDown. SmackDown opened up the show with Shinsuke Nakamura. Nakamura was out there with Renee Young to give a exclusive, I guess you can say, interview. The crowd was, it's Nakamura entrance, so they were a little hot. But as soon as the entrance was over, they kind of died down a little bit, I guess. Nakamura was wearing his new t-shirt, his first main roster t-shirt. Right before he can even say anything to Renee Young, Dolph Ziggler came out. And that's when everything got even worse. This whole thing between Ziggler and Nakamura last night on SmackDown seemed so overly scripted. Because, Dolph would ask him questions to Nakamura, and then he'd put the microphone in Nakamura's face, and then Nakamura would go, and then Dolph would pull it away. And then Dolph would say something again, and then he'd do it a second time, and he'd pull it away. So stupid. And then at one time, Nakamura did say something, and Ziggler was like, oh, we can't understand you. You can't speak English. Like, really? Really? And then Ziggler made up some story about how Nakamura's really an American named Michael Jackson, and he's got family, and Tito, and you can't remember. The dumbest thing ever. Nakamura then finally did take the mic from Ziggler, though. Asked Ziggler what his problem was, and then he did the whole pull the mic away from Ziggler. This was so stupid. And then finally, he called him a jackass. He said, you jackass. And then Ziggler kicked Nakamura in the gut, and they kind of fought for a minute. Nakamura went for a Kinshasa, but Ziggler bailed out of the ring. The crowd cheered, and that was it. Like I said, seemed way too over-scripted, and it was just horrible. Parag96897 says, who do you think is going to go over in the Sami Zayn Baron Corbin feud? It's simple. Baron Corbin. Who are they pushing to the main event? Baron Corbin. Che Lu says, did you watch Talking Smack? I did see some of it. Really, I only saw the Baron Corbin and Sami Zayn stuff, which we will get into a little bit. Again, if you guys do want to call into the show, 559-475-8473 is the number. The phone line is open. If you would like to donate to the show, help us out in a way that doesn't cost you anything, you can always head over to gawkbox.com/PW Unlimited. All you have to do is interact with their website, maybe watch a 15-30 second video clip, download an app on their website, and then boom, their advertisers tip us, and it doesn't cost you anything. You can also hit that super chat button in the comments below if you're here on the live stream. And then also you can head over to our TeePublic store and get any of our t-shirts, stickers, phone cases, merchandise galore right there. And then starting Friday, well, actually we can start it today if you want, but I'm really going to roll the majority of this out Friday. If you head over to youtube.streamlabs.com/Pro Wrestling Unlimited, there will be an all new way there for you guys to donate. All the information for that is also in the description below. We have some themed donations. If you guys donate a certain amount of money, then the themed donation will pop up on the screen. That will start Friday. It's going to be something cool that I've been working on for a couple weeks now. Let's see. Philip Stevens says Dolph called him MJ. Michael Houston, what's going on? Good morning. Yum Ayato says, I want to see Ziggler sell the Kinshasa. Michael Houston says, that reminded me a bit of John Cena from a decade ago. Keegan Watson, yes, I agree. SmackDown was much better than Raw this week. That's a fact. Yum says they are building new superstars. That's true. Signature Kevin, what's going on? Chris Gomez says, didn't NXT hire a blonde girl or something? I think she may be a new interviewer. Yeah, you're thinking of Kayla, I believe is her name. Kayla. Michael Houston, SmackDown Live was dead last night. Then again, it was dead on Raw as well. Yes, the crowd was not. I know someone that was there last night. I haven't spoke with him yet. And I was going to ask him about this. The crowd just sounded dead for the entire show. I don't know what was going on. Ruben says, Eric Bischoff is the only one who are 3-hour, 1 Raw. I don't understand that. Sam the Man TV says, SmackDown is best for business, but Angle is on Raw, so Raw is great again. I can see where you can say that What's going on, Sarah Small? All right. Signature Kevin. So does Jinder Mahal faction have a name yet? I don't think not that they announced last night. Sam the Man TV says NXT needs a secondary title. We talked about this on Monday. They have enough guys, I guess you can say, for NXT to have a secondary title, but they don't have enough TV time. They would need to have like an hour and a half to 2 hour show with the tag titles, with the main title, and then with the women's title. A 1 hour show really has no more room for any more feuds to build another title up. All right. So next up on SmackDown, we had AJ Styles versus Baron Corbin. Kevin Owens was on commentary once again in a suit. Saxton asked Owens to tell everybody what he's doing to prepare for his match on Sunday with Chris Jericho. Owens responded with, "Why would I do that, you idiot?" He then said that Byron Saxton on commentary is so bad that he almost misses Michael Cole on Monday Night Raw. Corbin took control of the match early. They looked like they were going to go for a superplex at one point, but AJ Styles slipped out of it and pulled Corbin off the top rope. He then hit a Pele kick, followed by some quick strikes and a forearm for a 2 count. Owens jumped off of commentary as Styles set up the phenomenal forearm. Styles then kicked Owens in the face. It seemed like the distraction would lead to Corbin getting the win, but instead, AJ Styles with a roll-up got the victory. Kevin Owens then ran in and attacked I cannot speak right now. AJ Styles. Before Sami Zayn came down to make the save, he nailed Corbin with a haluva kick, but Owens got out of there, just barely getting knocked off the apron by Sami Zayn. Owens then laid out Styles with a pop-up powerbomb. This then led to a segment on Talking Smack. On Talking Smack, Sami Zayn was on there with JBL and Renee Young, and they were talking about, NXT and Baron Corbin, and Sami said that the fans in NXT never liked Baron, and the fans on the main roster don't like Baron, and then Baron showed up and attacked Sami Zayn from behind. When a referee tried to break it up, Baron shoved the referee. SmackDown Live Commissioner Shane McMahon then took to Twitter to say that that was unacceptable, that you never lay your hands on an official, and because of that, Baron Corbin has been fined and suspended 1 week on SmackDown Live. But I beg to differ. Last week, in the Naomi Charlotte match, there was a spot where Naomi was in the ring, Charlotte was outside the ring. Charlotte tried to jump up on the apron, and the referee tried to grab her to pull her down, and Charlotte kicked the referee. And then what happens? Charlotte ends up getting a championship match. So, makes no sense why Baron can't just shove a referee out of his way, but Charlotte can literally kick a referee off of her. I don't know, maybe it's because the referee put his hands on her first, or it's a female-male situation. I don't know, but the consistency there just doesn't make sense. Charlotte should have not been granted her championship match. Should have been fined and suspended, but hey, it's the WWE. A lot of things don't make sense. After the AJ Styles Baron Corbin match, we then had a backstage segment where Charlotte told Dasha that, blood runs through all these women's veins, but not mine. Gold runs through my veins. Charlotte then says that she needs that title to exist and would complete her drive for 5. She then concluded, reaffirming that she's the greatest superstar in WWE history. Michael Houston, the number is on the screen if you would like to call in, but the number is 559-475-8473. All right, let's see. Sam the Man TV says Randy Orton needs to win. Yeah, after what happened this week on SmackDown, it almost makes you think Randy may win at Payback now. I thought when they took the title off, maybe Bray would be getting the victory, but After that beatdown on SmackDown by Jinder, they can't have Randy get beat down, get his title stolen, which we're going to talk about in a minute, and then go lose to Bray. It would just make the champion and the championship look so weak. So I think now Randy has to win. Daniel Gibson says, do you think, like me, that Baron Corbin has the look and potential to be the new big star in the WWE? I really like his persona. He has potential, but I don't think he's ready yet. I think he needs a little more time to figure his stuff out. Caller, you're on the air. What's going on?
This is Force Unlimited.
Yeah, what's going on?
My name is Michael Houston. I'm a subscriber on YouTube.
How's it going?
And I'm doing good. I have a question to ask.
Sure.
Excuse me. I actually kind of, where exactly are they going with the old Shinsuke Nakamura and Dolph Ziggler angle? I mean, I know that might be Nakamura's feud since into the main roster, but
Right.
where exactly are they trying to go with that?
To be honest, I don't even know. All I know is that Ziggler is somebody that they feel like can always have good to pretty good matches, and that Nakamura working with somebody like Ziggler it's a way that Ziggler knows how to get his opponent over. So maybe it's the fact of they put him in there with Ziggler because Ziggler, even though he really doesn't need this, can make Nakamura look good, even though Nakamura can look good on his own. But if you see, like with the Baron Corbin stuff, Ziggler made Baron Corbin actually look better than he actually is. So in that regard, maybe that's what they're doing with putting Nakamura and Ziggler together, as far as somebody that the fans don't really care about anyway. So if he loses to Nakamura in this feud, it's not like the fans are going to be mad that somebody they like lost.
Don't you think that was kind of reminiscent of when I made that comment about the whole John Cena angle a year ago? Excuse me, because he was feuding with someone from Japan.
Right.
He don't play interview thing.
Right.
That's what I said about that.
Okay, I understand what you're saying. Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, that's kind of old, but
Yeah.
so when is Nakamura exactly going to have a first official televised match on the main roster?
To be honest, I have no clue. Him and Ziggler have been working the dark matches every Tuesday after 205 Live, and my feeling is they're doing that on purpose to keep the fans in the actual arenas so they don't leave during 205 Live. As far as when he's going to wrestle, I would assume at least one time before Backlash, but it may not be till Backlash.
I see. Okay. What do you think about Breezango being the number one contenders for the tag titles?
It's unexpected, but at the same time, I like it because it's different. I honestly thought they may have gone with the Colognes, but then when the Colognes lost to American Alpha last night, I was kind of upset because we've seen American Alpha and the Usos a handful of times, but putting Breezango in there, it is something different. I don't know if they'll give the titles to Breezango, but it is something different. So, because if you think about it, the SmackDown Tag Division has pretty much been nothing but Usos, American Alpha.
True. So I guess that's probably why they moved New Day over to SmackDown Live on Raw to kind of boost up the tag team division.
Exactly, but they can't do anything. Well, they don't want to do anything with the New Day until Kofi's back, which I don't understand that. They can always do things with. See, here's my thinking is they could have just brought in Biggie and Xavier, but I think the reason they may be waiting with Kofi is they may want to put the titles on the New Day, and they don't want to do that until all three guys are ready. That's what it seems like.
Yeah, that's true too. Because isn't that the same thing on Raw where one of the members from the Revival was hurt?
Right. Dash Wilder actually had his jaw wired shut last week because he fractured his jaw. So they're keeping them both off of TV until he's ready to come back. It's only supposed to be about 2 months off or so.
2 months, okay.
Yeah.
All right. Now, here's my take about Jinder Mahal push.
Okay.
I hope they don't treat him like they did what's his face that used to fight with Undertaker? Remember that sign?
Oh, okay.
Yeah, because I hope that it actually kind of take Jinder Mahal seriously,
Right.
because Jinder Mahal actually is pretty good.
Yeah.
And I know that they pushed him because they want to reach the Indian market. You know, he is Canadian, but he is of Indian descent. But
Right.
I hope that they actually take him seriously instead of dropping the ball like they did Muhammad Hassan.
No, I fully understand that. The whole thing with Muhammad Hassan, though, is they played up too much with the 9/11 stuff with him. And I know
Yeah.
that like USA Network didn't like that. The sponsors actually didn't like that. And that's why they had to drop the stuff with him pretty just abruptly.
A champion.
So,
They used it properly.
Right. But I think with Jinder, they're going full bore with him. I mean, they've given him the Bollywood Boys. They're going to start this group. So it seems to me like it's not just a one-off thing where they needed some random person there for Backlash. I think it's really something that maybe he wins the title, maybe he doesn't win the title, but either way, they are going to keep trying to do something with him. Because if they didn't because my feeling is if they didn't give him the Bollywood Boys, then maybe it would just be a one-off thing. But now that they're building a faction around him, and then I've heard that there may be some others they may throw in there as well from NXT, that makes me believe that they are going to do something with him long term, at least towards like the end of the year or so.
So who do you think actually will be able to get the title off of Randy Orton, like, in a few months from now? Like, would it be Jinder? Would it be Baron Corbin? Would it be Nakamura? Or
I see it. Well, if you saw SmackDown last night, Rusev wants a title match. Rusev said that if he doesn't get a title opportunity at Money in the Bank, he's going to, quote unquote, walk away. So maybe they want to put the title on Rusev.
That'd be interesting.
It would be, and it would be different because Rusev hasn't been that world champion yet. He's been the U.S. champion, but he hasn't been the world champion yet. So it's a new dynamic of something.
He's been US champion twice.
Right. And I think that would be good, putting somebody fresh on top. Yeah, they did it with Bray, but I don't know how much confidence they actually have in Bray Wyatt as a world champion, unfortunately.
Yeah, that sucks. Like, they didn't give him, like, a good lengthy run.
Right.
Like, they didn't give Cena a lengthy run when he won that record time 15th. Like, they should have just let AJ Styles beat Cena.
Oh, yeah.
And then drop it to Bray, or at least keep it until WrestleMania.
Yeah, that to me made no sense at the Royal Rumble. I know they wanted to tie the record and everything, but it just, for him to only hold it for like, what was it, 2.5 weeks? It made absolutely no sense.
Yeah, that should have been like a WrestleMania type of match where Cena wins the title.
I mean, unless the plan was to just throw the title on Cena randomly to get into number 16, and then next year, WrestleMania 34, now I haven't heard this, but maybe next year at WrestleMania 34, he breaks the record?
Mm-hmm.
And maybe they did it at Royal Rumble quickly because he's going to be gone a lot of this year, and they didn't know when they'd have that opportunity again to do it.
Right. All right. So I've heard rumors that the Intercontinental title has kind of lost all meaning, that Dean Ambrose is the title holder. But Dean Ambrose doesn't have the opportunity to defend that title much. I mean, his last defense was against Baron Corbin on a pre-show of WrestleMania.
Right. I know I've heard that some feel like Dean's becoming complacent and a little lazy. Lazy?
Lackadaisical?
Yeah, that's the word I'm looking for. So they feel like that Dean's just kind of just like going with the motion. They give him his script or whatever, tell him what to do in his match, and then he just does it, and then that's it. He doesn't put any extra effort and stuff into it. And when, was it 2 weeks ago, I think it was either last week or the week before on Raw, Miz actually made a comment saying that, Dean Ambrose is just a wrestler and he's lazy and he doesn't try. That wasn't just something the Miz said. That had to have been something that they scripted for the Miz to say because somebody believes it.
Yeah. Well, I kind of feel that, Dean is not really doing as much as he should.
Right.
I don't know if maybe personally, deep down, he's getting bored with being in the WWE, or does he miss being in CCW? But something's got to be done where I don't know if they're going to take the top off of Dean, or maybe give him somebody to actually feud with.
Yeah, because I honestly thought they were going to set up, Dean Ambrose and Miz for the pay-per-view this Sunday, but with Miz doing the stuff on the pre-show with Balor, that means Dean's not on the show at all, which makes it absolutely no sense. Yes, they have the U.S. title match, but why not have a U.S. and an Intercontinental title match on the show to build up more interest to a show that nobody cares about?
Exactly.
Because
now, is the Shield going to finally reunite, or is Dean going to turn heel at one point? Because that's also been rumors as well, too.
Everybody wants to see the Shield come back, but I think it'd be the worst idea ever, because people think, oh, you put the Shield back together, fans are going to care about Roman Reigns again. In my opinion, I feel like you put the Shield back together, and it's going to hurt Seth Rollins and Dean Ambrose, because with them being associated with Roman Reigns, the fans are going to start booing and hating them just because of the association.
The whole Roman Reigns hate. I don't know. Because a lot of people saying, oh, he's John Cena 2.0, but I don't get the hate. Like, he's a very good worker.
He is.
The only problem is that
he doesn't
his...
I feel like he doesn't...
His lines are scripted.
Right. But I feel like his matches are way better than he's given credit for by the fans.
Okay.
Because, if you look at it, he's had good matches with Braun Strowman. He, had great matches with AJ Styles last year. He's had good he did good matches with Kevin Owens. He's had good matches with Rusev. He never has in my opinion, on pay-per-view at least, under a 4-star match.
Right. He had a good match with Triple H at WrestleMania last year, too.
Yes, that was the main event. Yes, that was a good match.
So what does it have to take for Roman to finally get over? Because a lot of people say he needs to turn heel, but turning heel is not always the answer. Just like a lot of people say Cena needs to turn heel.
Right.
I believe that if Cena were to turn heel, they should have been turned him heel like years ago. Like, they should have turned him heel. The last opportunity for Cena to turn heel was after he lost to The Rock at WrestleMania 28.
Right. And I think
that should have been that time to pull the trigger and be like, turn him heel.
And I think there was a plan for it. John Cena said around that time frame, he actually had all new gear made for a heel turn, and then they just at the last minute dropped it.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I can't remember the exact time frame of it, but he did an interview before where he said that he literally went out and spent loads of money to have all new gear made and everything for a heel turn because he really wanted to do it.
From the heel turn, he was actually going through with it.
Right, and then at the last minute, I guess Vince or somebody just nixed it. Let me see.
Go ahead and say it, Vince.
Most likely.
Superstars. Yeah. You know Vince is with his top superstars.
Exactly.
Especially if he's running them as babyface, he want to keep them as babyface as possible.
Right. But
I would say like the only heel turn in wrestling history, in my opinion, that actually worked, even for someone that was a babyface for a long time, was Hulk Hogan.
Exactly.
When he joined NWO, Hollywood Hogan thing. Damn, that actually made me believe as a fan that Hogan was a bad guy. And I was a Hulk Hogan fan for many years.
Right.
I remember one night when Hogan turned heel, I was in a prime because Hogan was my hero. I would never have thought Hogan would actually be on the side of bad. But I didn't like the Austin heel run. I did not like the Rock heel run because it made Austin look weak when he had turned heel after WrestleMania X7.
Right.
But then they turned him face again, but then they quickly turned him heel again, which was stupid. I didn't like the Rock heel run after his whole Hollywood Rock angle. Because
with the stuff with Goldberg and stuff?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, come on, man. Like, that didn't really make any sense at all. He was still getting cheered by fans.
Exactly.
Okay, one last question.
Go for it.
Parties. Have they finally settled that lawsuit with TNA where they can do the broken gimmick in WWE or not?
Now, last I heard, which was over the weekend, WWE was trying to negotiate a deal with Impact. Impact wants some sort of royalties. WWE doesn't want to pay royalties. They just want to buy the gimmick out from Impact. Now, one plan would be that the Hardys keep the tag titles for a while, and when they drop the titles, that would indicate that they're going to do the broken gimmick, because that would kind of trigger something in Matt or something maybe to make him go broken again. So maybe they have, because the Hardys may lose on Sunday based off of Matt beats Sheamus, Jeff beats Cesaro. Usually when you lose on TV like that, it means you're going to win on the pay-per-view. Could be wrong, but it is a good indicator that something could happen.
Okay.
But as of the weekend, I haven't heard anything about a deal officially being made.
Right. I mean, because at first I didn't really like the broken gimmick in TNA. I thought it really diminished the Hardy's legacy, but then over time it kind of grew on me.
Exactly. And that's what most people say. That they thought it was dumb at first, and the more they watched it, it just got better and better.
Exactly. Well, hey, thanks a lot, Tim, for taking the time to answer my questions.
Not a problem.
I'm going to keep following you on YouTube, and I'm going to subscribe to Instagram and Twitter as well.
Awesome.
All right.
Have a great day.
Thanks a lot. You too.
Bye. All right, so I looked it up where I said that John Cena said that he had all gear made and he was going to turn heel and everything. It was 2012. John Cena, or former WWE writer Kevin Eck, was a guest on the PWU Torch live cast a couple weeks ago and said that Vince had actually signed off for John Cena to turn heel in 2012, and then like the week before actually said never mind. Eck went on to say that WWE started making plans for a heel turn for John Cena, and then Vince got cold feet right when John Cena signed an exclusive merchandise deal with Walmart, feeling that if John Cena was heel, that Walmart may either pull out of the deal or that the merch at Walmart wouldn't sell. So that's the whole thing with John Cena turning heel, John Cena then it getting pulled. So Cena really wanted to do it. Vince at one point did want to do it and then ultimately backed away because of merchandise stuff. And we hear that all the time. Oh, they don't want to turn this guy because he's selling good merch, or they don't want to turn Roman because they think his merchandise will fall. So, caller, you're on the air. What's going on?
Hey, what's up? It's me, Ruben.
How's it going?
Yeah, good. Oh, I have a question. Do you know who made Raw 3 hours?
Pardon?
Do you know who made Raw 3 hours?
USA Network. They wanted more programming, so WWE said, "Okay, we'll give you an extra hour," and now they have to do it. It's in the contract. It was in the last TV deal they signed, and that's why Raw's 3 hours, because USA Network wanted more content.
And I was hearing a video. I think he said it was Eric Bischoff who made Raw 3 hours. Eric, that's right.
They went 3 hours after Bischoff left the company.
Oh, Bischoff. Yeah.
Bischoff made Nitro 3 hours, but not Raw.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah, because Bischoff was in charge of WCW.
Yeah, like, I don't know, like, I'm seeing Raw, but it's not the same Raw like before. No, I think it's more different now.
Right.
Yeah, my first wrestling show, when I watched it on the TV, it was 2004. I don't know if you saw it. It was when it was a battle royal to face Chris Benoit for the world champion on Bad Blood. You saw that one?
Oh yeah, I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, that was my first show of WWE when I watched it. Yeah, and that's when King won. That's right. Yeah, King won the Battle Royal and faced Benoit and Bad Blood. Yeah.
I'll tell you right now. I think so.
Yeah. It was King.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was my first time. Like, I was watching it, like, oh my god. When Eric Bischoff, he was charged on Raw, like, it was my best, like Eric Bischoff, it was like, I don't know, like, he has more control on Monday Night Raw, like that back in the day.
Well, but he was a scripted general manager. It was all Vince making the calls.
It was Vince.
Well, yeah, Vince is in charge of the show. Eric Bischoff just does what he's told. He was a character. Unlike in WCW when he was in charge of the show on TV, but actually in charge in real life as well.
Yeah, like, now I don't think, like, Kurt Angle looks more different. I don't know, like, he's not, like, concerning, like, running Raw, like, I don't know, like, it looks more, I don't know, like, what he's doing, but, like, he's making a good job, but, like, I don't know, like, I see him, like, I don't know. Yeah.
But, all right. Thanks for the call. Have a great day.
All right. Thank you.
All right. Kurt Angle as the Raw general manager, I think we just got to give him some time. They're going to do him different than Mick Foley, different than Daniel Bryan, different than Shane McMahon, and we're just going to have to see exactly where it leads to. Shane's the type of, or not Shane, but Kurt, I think his GM character is going to be the type of, if you guys got a problem, just go to the ring now. That's what he's been doing. Unlike all these other general managers, like, all right, next week we'll make a match, or the pay-per-view will make a match. No, his is just like, you want to fight now? Fight now. Which is different, because all the other general managers like to postpone things. Let's see what you guys are saying here in the chat. I know a couple of you are asking about Crazy Steve. Now, here's the thing with Crazy Steve. He left Impact Wrestling. He was offered a deal by the WWE, but here's the thing. As of yesterday, no deal had yet been signed. So Crazy Steve could be on his way to WWE. It looks very possible, but Crazy Steve has not officially signed with the WWE. Let's get back to this SmackDown review. We then started the Beat the Clock Challenge as American Alpha defeated the Colognes in 5 minutes 17 seconds. This then made it to where either Breezango or the Ascension had to win in under 5 minutes and 17 seconds. After the tag match, we then had a pre-taped video with Rusev. I talked about this earlier, but Rusev pretty much said in the video, I don't agree with Daniel Bryan. I don't agree with Shane McMahon. I don't agree with Shane's dad's shakeup. And that he wants a championship match at Money in the Bank, or he'll pack his bags and go back to Bulgaria. And then the crowd cheered. I don't know if they cheered because Rusev would leave or Rusev getting a championship opportunity. Then we had Dasha backstage with Becky Lynch asking about Charlotte and getting her championship match and her thoughts on Charlotte. And Becky pretty much, she was going to say, I'm happy for her and this and that. And then she was interrupted by Tamina, Natalya, Carmella, and James Ellsworth. And they basically was like, whose side are you on? Are you on, our side, or are you with her? And then they walked off. We then had a no DQ match where Randy Orton defeated Eric Rowan. It wasn't a bad match. They did say that yesterday was the 15th anniversary to the day that Randy Orton debuted on the main roster, which was on SmackDown. Match was all right. Rowan set up a table outside at one point, and it looked like he was going to vertical suplex Orton from inside the ring to the outside of the ring. Orton fought it off, had a kendo stick. He hit Rowan a couple times until Rowan fell off the apron and went through a table. Later on in the match, Eric Rowan took control and grabbed a chair. He put the chair set it up in the corner. Randy Orton then ran at Eric Rowan. Orton moved out of the way. No, I got that wrong. Randy Orton was going to get whipped into the chair. Randy Orton stopped himself just in time for Eric Rowan to run at Orton. Orton slip out of the way, and Rowan go into the table. This then led Randy Orton to hit an RKO. 1, 2, 3, Randy Orton defeated Eric Rowan. Orton then cut a promo after the match saying, I don't know. Now listen to this. How stupid of a line is this? Randy Orton said, I don't know what a House of Horrors match is, but I guess I'll find out on Sunday. You guess you'll find out on Sunday? That was the dumbest line ever. Of course you're going to find out on Sunday because you have to wrestle in the House of Horrors match on Sunday. It's not like, oh, well, maybe I'll show up, maybe I won't. If I show up, I'll figure out what the match is. No. That was the dumbest line I've ever heard. Jinder Mahal then came out and said that, hey, don't overlook me just because you have this match with Bray Wyatt. I'm your main competitor. I'm your horror. And then the crowd started chanting, USA, USA. Mahal then got in the ring, said that he's not only going to beat Randy Orton for the championship, but he's also going to beat respect into Randy at Backlash. They then started to fight, and then Orton he had Jinder set up for the draping DDT before the Singh brothers, or the Bollywood boys, came down. They all triple teamed on Randy Orton before Jinder Mahal walked away with the WWE Championship. They then went to commercial, and when they came back, they showed the Singh brothers and Jinder leaving in a limo where Jinder was standing out the moonroof with the WWE Championship. We then had the second of 2 Beat the Clock Challenge matches where Breezango actually defeated the Ascension in 2 minutes and 41 seconds. Breezango are now the new number 1 contenders and will be taking on American Alpha for the championships at Backlash. All right, before we get on to the main event, let's see what you guys are talking about in the chat. I know some of you are talking about NXT. Some of you are talking about the Impact tapings. Yes, Scott Steiner did return, spoiler alert, did return at the tapings this week. And last time heard of this, I think yesterday, I was told that it is just a one-time deal. He's just coming in for the match at Slammiversary, and that is it. What the match is, if you haven't been watching Impact, Jeremy Borash, Josh Matthews are both on commentary. They don't like each other. They don't want to work with each other. So they're trying to do a thing to get one of them staying on announcing. The other one's going to have to leave the announce desk. So they're doing a match at Slammiversary. It will be Joseph Park, whom a lot of you know as Abyss, and Jeremy Borash taking on how they first announced it was Josh Matthews and a mystery opponent. Then they had an angle in the ring with Joseph Park and Josh Matthews where Big Papa Pump Scott Steiner came out, laid out Joseph Park, and then it was announced that he would be the partner of Josh Matthews at Slammiversary. Also at Slammiversary, well, I'm going to do either today or tomorrow a full TNA spoiler for the tapings and which leading up. I don't know if it's leading all the way up to Slammiversary yet or not. I think they have one more set of tapings before. But we're going to have a spoiler alert video. I'm not going to put all the spoilers in this video if you don't want to hear them. We'll have a different one. Let's see what else you guys are talking about. Let's see. You guys are talking about Charlotte possibly being face now. All right. Well, if you guys are talking about it, let's talk about it. We had the WWE Smackdown Live Women's Championship match. Started off with a interview backstage in gorilla position with Naomi and Renee Young. Renee said that, Charlotte finds herself the greatest superstar in WWE. What do you think about that? And Naomi said, to be the greatest, you need to be the champ. And I have the championship, so maybe that makes me the greatest. I'm Ali, Charlotte's foreman. She then went out and did her entrance, come back from commercial, and Charlotte comes out. Charlotte hits a chop on Naomi early. Naomi comes back with a jawbreaker, kick, Hurricane Rana, back elbow, and then a neck breaker, all in concession. Naomi sort of hit a detonation kick for a near fall. She followed with a rear view for yet another near fall. Charlotte countered a Hurricane Rana into a sit-out powerbomb for a near fall. Charlotte attempted a moonsault, but Naomi got her knees up. With both women now down, that led to Natalya, Tamina, Carmella, with James Ellsworth all running in for the DQ. The crowd then started chanting, "We want Becky," and surprisingly, Becky didn't come out. I really thought Becky Lynch would come out, but she didn't, and it just ended with all the heels posing in the ring, with Charlotte laid out in the middle of the ring, and I think Naomi laying at ringside. And that's how SmackDown ended. Some of you guys are asking again about Baron Corbin. We talked about this earlier, but I'll tell you again on Talking Smack. It was Sami Zayn as the guest, and he was talking about Baron Corbin and how Baron Corbin wasn't liked in NXT by the fans, and the fans don't like him on the main roster. And then Baron Corbin attacked Sami Zayn from behind. While he was attacking Sami Zayn, a referee tried to break it up, and Baron Corbin shoved the referee. SmackDown Live Commissioner Shane McMahon then took to Twitter to say, "You don't put your hands on an official." And because of this, Baron Corbin has been fined. Also, Baron Corbin has been suspended for 1 week. So that's what it is. He put his hands on an official on Talking Smack. But like I said earlier, last week, Charlotte kicked a referee and she got a title match. So that makes no sense to me. I0 says, "Why do you think Ginger took the title?" I honestly don't know why he would have done that, why they even did that spot. It was kind of out of left field, and sometimes they've done it before and it's made sense, but this one just didn't make any sense at all. Like, I have no earthly idea why they would even have Ginger take the title. You would think they want Randy to look strong going into the House of Horrors match, but I guess not. I guess Randy's winning, so they just thought we can do whatever with Randy on SmackDown this week and it doesn't matter. Gurcharan Narang. So it's kayfabe suspension. Yeah, it's storyline stuff. And it should all lead to Baron Corbin versus Sami Zayn at Backlash. Ruben says Hulk Hogan returning at Slammiversary. I don't know. A lot of people thought he would return to WWE at WrestleMania and he didn't. So maybe he's cut some deal with TNA again. I don't know. Nam Gupta is saying if Ginger took the title, does that mean it's not on the line at Backlash? They actually haven't. The title's been not on the line, if that's how I should say it, at Backlash for like 2 weeks now. Last week and this week, they changed it to where it's not a title match anymore. So, as if you recall, they keep telling you what happens if Chris Jericho wins the United States Championship, but they didn't say what happens if Bray wins the WWE Championship. And now if you look at WWE.com, it doesn't say House of Horrors title match anymore. And if you look at the graphics they show on TV, it no longer says WWE Championship match. So the title is not on the line at all for Payback. I0 Breezango, number one contenders. What do you think? It's different, and I like that because we've seen American Alpha and the Usos for the SmackDown Live Tag Team titles way too many times. Like, soon as they took them titles off of Heath Slater and Rhino, all we got was Uso Alpha, Uso Alpha, Uso Alpha, and it was just ridiculous. Robert Cathy says, I didn't watch Talking Smack yet. Gonna watch it after I get off work. It's not. There's nothing important on that Talking Smack other than that. And even if you watch Talking Smack, if you didn't follow Shane McMahon or the WWE on Twitter, you wouldn't have even known about the suspension anyways. Boss Gamer is asking, is Charlotte a face now? I would assume she is because it evens everything out on SmackDown. You have Natty, Tamina, Carmella, your 3 heels. Naomi, Charlotte, Becky, your 3 baby faces. That's what I see. Gurcharan is saying AJ Styles and Nakamura should be in the title picture. Orton isn't doing great with it. I don't really see Orton being a good champion right now. Like, he's been a great champion in the past. I just don't know what it is this time. There's a disconnect. And I don't understand what it is. I don't know if it's the fact of people wanted Bray to keep the title longer, or the fact that they moved Bray over and now that feud just kind of just died, and now no one cares what else Orton is doing. I don't know, but to me at least, there's like a disconnect there where we've seen Orton be a great champion in the past. Like, remember when he had that feud with Daniel Bryan over the championship? Great. But then it just, I don't know, it just feels flat to me, this title run. Almost like it's an afterthought on SmackDown, and that could be what it is, that they're making it seem almost like an afterthought, and that the U.S. title may be more important. Boss Gamer, Naomi, Charlotte, and Becky versus Natalya, Carmella, Tamina at Backlash. They could do that, but I've also heard them just doing a 6-woman match for the SmackDown Live Championship. Native Star, good morning. What is going on? You're joining us right here towards the end of the show, as we got a little less than 10 minutes left to go. Robert Kelly says, Breezango number 1 contenders, Ginger getting a title shot. SmackDown is definitely the land of opportunity. They are doing new things on SmackDown, and I like when they do things new. That's the plus about SmackDown. I mean, you look at Raw, you don't have a world champion at all because it's Brock Lesnar. He's going to be gone a lot of the times, so okay, whatever. But then you have Dolph Ziggler and The Miz with the IC title. We've already seen that on SmackDown. You've got Roman Reigns, Braun Strowman. That's been going on for a while. You've got Samoa Joe, Seth Rollins. Okay, cool. That's kind of new. I know they did want to do that back at Fastlane, and Seth got hurt. So, I don't know. SmackDown seems more like things change from month to month, and SmackDown and Raw seems a little dragged out, if that makes sense. Owen the Scottish, what are your thoughts on Ziggler versus Shinsuke? I feel like it's okay. The stuff they did last night was horrible, but I think the match is going to be good because Ziggler can usually have good matches, and I think the whole thing is having Ziggler in there with Nakamura. They feel like Ziggler can really, I guess, which they don't need this, but can make Nakamura even look better than he is. Like, Ziggler can make anybody, well, not anybody, but Ziggler usually can make his opponents look good even if they're not good, like with the whole Baron Corbin stuff that he did. And I think that it's somebody like, okay, you bring Nakamura to the main roster and you throw him straight in there with Ziggler, somebody you trust to have a good, decent match, and that way the fans don't care if Ziggler loses. It's not like they put Nakamura against Sami Zayn and the fans will be like, crap, we want to see Nakamura win because it's his first feud on the main roster, but we don't want to see Sami lose either. So you put him up against somebody like Dolph Ziggler, and then you go from there. I don't know where they go from there. I don't know when they actually put Nakamura in the title picture, because it looks as if Jinder's going to be the challenger at Backlash, and I guess Rusev is going to be the challenger at Money in the Bank, when I thought it could have been AJ Styles. And then Money in the Bank, you go from there to SummerSlam, I believe. Is there, let me look at the pay-per-view list. Is there a pay-per-view between Money in the Bank, WWE pay-per-view 2017? Is there a pay-per-view between Money in the Bank for SmackDown 2017? SmackDown. I think SmackDown's getting Battleground before SummerSlam. So there we go. I don't know who would be the challenger there. Maybe Nakamura, maybe AJ Styles, maybe Baron Corbin. I have heard Baron Corbin maybe at SummerSlam, but that's unconfirmed right now. Let's see what else are you guys saying here. Boss Gamer says Sami needs a title shot. I think they can do something good. Now, this kind of contradicts what I just said about doing things from the past again. But with the U.S. title, you have Kevin Owens successfully defending against AJ Styles, and then you do Sami Zayn versus Kevin Owens. I know it may not make sense if Sami loses this feud to Baron Corbin, but then where do you go, though? Because if Owens is the heel champion. You need a babyface challenger. If Owens defeats AJ Styles, really your next best option is Sami Zayn. Philip Stevenson, when is Noelle Foley getting her call-up? Noelle Foley is not even signed to a WWE Performer contract. If you watched, what was it, Holy Foley? They gave her a tryout, and they told her, you're not there. You're not as, they literally said, you need to work harder. You're not as athletic as we would like. So, we'll have to see what goes on with that. She says she still wants to wrestle, but other than when they filmed for the show, I haven't heard anything about her training anymore. So, like, all could have just been for the show. Maybe they do a second season of Holy Foley. I don't know. Robert Kelly says, why is Seth teaming with Finn? Didn't Seth cause the injury? Wouldn't Finn-Seth feud be good? It would be good, but then who would you have the heel? I know because of the circumstances, you don't need a heel. It's just a fact of Finn wants his revenge on Seth because Seth took, 8 months of his career away, couldn't hold his championship because of it. So in that regard, you don't need a heel, and maybe they do, maybe they don't move on to Seth Rollins, and I don't know, maybe Miz brings it up on the Payback pre-show this week, and we go from there after Payback. But I think they're going to do Bray Wyatt and Finn Balor instead. Now, I think that a Seth Rollins-Finn Balor feud would be good because they didn't really get to feud last time. They were both named, number one contenders. They had the match at SummerSlam, and then Finn got hurt. So I think it would be a great feud. And yes, usually you want a babyface and a heel, but because of the circumstances, you can do babyface versus babyface with this. No, Ryan, I didn't do that on purpose. Robert Cathy says that I did the stream early so he can't call in and do one of his long calls. Actually, that's not even the case. I had some family obligations last night, was unable to watch Smackdown until like 10 o'clock my time, and then by the time it was over, it was like well past midnight on the East Coast, and nobody would have been here on the live stream, so that's why the stream's this morning, unfortunately. And I think with that, we're going to end the stream here, right at the 1 hour mark. I appreciate everybody who was here with us today, all the callers, everybody in the chat. Appreciate it immensely. We'll be live again. Unfortunately, Robert, it will be Friday morning doing our weekly wrap-up PWU live show. And again, thank you to everybody who has supported our channel, all the donators here in the month of April. We have some news coming out today there's a movie being made about Vince McMahon. What other news do I have for you guys? There's a movie being made about Vince McMahon. I've got the early betting odds for Payback. And then I am also working on Robert Cathy's suggestion on bringing everybody up to speed on what the broken Matt Hardy gimmick is. And I got to say thank you for that, Robert, because that is a great idea for a video. And if anybody ever has any ideas for me, just hit me up either on Twitter, on Facebook, on Instagram, here during the live streams. If you ever have any suggestions or ideas, I'm always willing to listen and most likely, probably, take your ideas and run with it. I will give whoever comes up with the idea credit for sure. So again, I have some, like I said, news on the Vince McMahon movie being made. I have the early Payback odds, the betting odds, who the odds makers think will win at Payback. But remember, it's early. So with that, I'm going to say thank you guys for being here with us today, and have a great rest of your Tuesday.